Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I've heard from a few people recently that are talking about coming here and wanting to know about starting a business here. So I'm going to tell you what I know, but this is for foreign-owned businesses. This isn't going to be about the locals starting a small little vegetable stand or a mom and pop store, because they would have different rules and regulations. But a foreigner wanting to start a business here is something else altogether. And I don't know all the specifics, but I do have resources that I will direct you to so you can get more information if that is something you are interested in. But as always, I want to remind you that I have books for sale. I have 5 books to be exact, including Live in Cambodia, a guide for living in the Kingdom of Wonder. And you can find all those big wonderful books at the link in the description. And they start at only $1. Matter of fact, you can buy all 5 of my books and it would only set you back $9. So that's a pretty good deal. So be sure to check those out and get the ones you want. And this is the beginning, officially today, of the Chum Ben. This is the biggest religious, cultural holiday here in Cambodia. A lot of activities, a lot of things to do. And we are looking for your donations to help us do some of those things. And of course, videotape the process. So if you can and if you want to, we'd appreciate your donations. Hopefully we can get a couple $100 here really soon so we can get this party started. And if you want to help facilitate that, there are links down below for PayPal and Ko-Fi.com. And all your donations are very much appreciated. We love our supporters. Couldn't do it without you. And we're really hoping that this can be a good Chum Ben season for everybody. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a video on Chum Ben specifically, let you know what the holiday is about and some of the festivities you'll be able to see. So be sure to check out all those links, as always, in the description. It would really help us out, and we appreciate it. So, the first thing you should know before you plan on coming here and starting a business as a foreigner, there's a couple things you should know first. A certain economic group or forum organization has listed 183 countries and ranked them by difficulty of opening a business in those countries, and Cambodia has placed 171st, which means it's one of the more difficult countries to open a business, a foreign-owned business. And there's a reason for that. On average, and this is just an average, just to get all the paperwork done and all the official government documents you need and all of the certifications and all that good stuff, and I'll be talking about some of those later. The average price to do all that is between $7,000 and $16,000. And that's without actually counting anything about the business itself. That doesn't include the building, that doesn't include the products, that doesn't include any kind of rent, employees, anything, or taxes. It doesn't include anything like that. That's just the base amount on average to get you started with all the paperwork. It costs a lot of money to get it all registered and official, to make sure it's legal. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because to get it legal, you are going to go through a ton of paperwork. I mean, a ton of paperwork. You first have to come up with a business name, and that name is one that has not been used before in Cambodia or is currently not in use. It has to be original. And you will register that with, I believe, the Ministry of Commerce. I believe that's what it's called. And they'll give you a pile of paperwork to fill out just for that. And of course the appropriate fees involved. And how much the fees are for each step, I'm not sure, but again, I'll give you a place where you can look that up later if that's something that interests you. But after you do that, and that's all done and official, you'll then have to get your tax certification. That will be through a different government department. You'll have to take your paperwork from your registered official name. You'll have to take it to the tax documentation place. You'll have to let them know what kind of business it is, sole proprietorship, if it's just going to be, if it's an LLC, or if it's just a bar or a restaurant where you're going to be hiring multiple employees, and things like that. And you'll have to fill out another stack of legalese paperwork. Some more red tape to go through there. And then you'll have to, of course, pay the appropriate fees for that as well. After you're done with that, there's then another department of the government where you will have to take those two stacks of paperwork, making sure they're all signed and verified, T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and then you'll have to officially register your intent to start that business with the government. They will give you a stamp and, of course, a lot more paperwork to fill out. And of course, this is where a good amount of those fees I was talking about are going to come in, because those are going to cost you as well. And then once you get all of that done, there is one more step, and that is to go to the I guess you can call it the main government department and take all that with you, let them know what's going on, and of course, with the appropriate fees, they will then legally recognize you as a business in Cambodia. And depending on what you wrote on your paperwork, if your plans change, like it was going to be a sole proprietorship and now it's going to be an LLC with more than one employee, well, that's a whole nother matter to consider right there. So if you're going to start a business, be sure that what you're going to do, exactly what it's going to entail, and how many employees and everything you'll be needing. And that's just to get your business name legal. And after that, of course, you'll have to find, you know, if you need an office building, do you need a restaurant, do you need a bar, do you need some kind of building for your business, what kind of equipment do you need? A lot of places around here, as a foreigner, you're not allowed to own a building, you know, a house or, you know, a separate building of any kind. Only a condo. You can put a condo in your name as a foreigner, but not any business. And so generally somebody will sell you a business. Yeah, it might be anywhere from $5,000 to $7,500, maybe $10,000 for the space itself. But it's not actually yours, because then you will sign a lease and you will have to pay monthly on top of that, like rent. You're just paying to take over the space from one person and then paying the landlord a monthly lease or rent to keep your business open. And generally, on average, from what I've read, and I don't know this from experience, but from what I've read, it takes about 90 days to take care of that first step, just to get your business name legal. It takes about 90 days, and like I said, between $7,000 and $16,000. So that's what you have to go through if you want to start a business as a foreigner here in Cambodia. Now, down below in the description, there is a government link a link to an official Khmer government website that will give you all the particulars about all that and which departments you have to go through, and they do have FAQs and a place to contact someone if you have questions. And that link, like I said, is right below down there in the description. So check out that website if you plan on doing this yourself. Now, the alternative is to hire a company to do all that for you. They will take care of all the paperwork. You will still have to pay all the fees, and you will have to pay more fees on top of that for the company's help. I would suggest Consultancy Cambodia. They do a lot of stuff here when it comes to the legal aspects of living here. You know, wills and divorces and marriage and starting a business and all kinds of stuff. Consultancy Cambodia. You can look that up online, you'll find it. And they will take care of all the paperwork for you, so you don't have to go from department to department, which might help. It might be the way to go, because you know there's going to be a language barrier if you try it yourself, if you're not fluent in the language, and you don't want to make any mistakes with that kind of money and time on the line. So perhaps you want to go with somebody local, but this will cost you a lot of extra money. How much more, I don't know. It all is going to depend on how much time and effort they have to put into it. But Consultancy Cambodia does offer free quotes, free consultation, so you can tell them exactly what you want to do, and they will give you an approximate price for doing that if you wish. So I'm not trying to discourage anybody from coming over here and starting a business or having an enterprise. I'm just trying to give you the facts of what you need to do to get it registered legally as a foreigner. Now again, as a foreigner, you can't own the business outright by yourself if it's a sole proprietorship. But if you're going to hire employees, you'll have to hire locals for the majority of the jobs. And there are different rules and regulations you'll need to be aware of for that. And you know, setting up a service so they get paid, and taking into account their taxes, and then you have to pay your taxes. And yeah, so it's kind of a big deal. It's not like a stand like this. Like I said, locals are different. You know, you got a stand, you set up somewhere, you pay somebody some money to sit in front of their store with your stand every month and sell your goods. You know, the police aren't out here hassling these women you see on their bicycles with the fruit and veg on the back, cycling around town every day and selling to people. Yeah, those are the rules for owning a foreign-owned business in Cambodia. And if you know somebody local and you trust them implicitly and completely, you can always put it in their name. That will help alleviate some of those issues, because it won't be in a foreigner's name. But just be sure you trust that person, because you're still going to have to pay for it. Somebody was asking if they want a retirement visa, if they can start a business. The answer is no. If you're retired, you cannot get income that way. You have to get your EB visa and your work permit in order to own a business. But like I said, if you put it in if you have a Khmer wife and you want to put it in her name, and you just take care of all the finances, and yeah, that's okay, and you can still keep your retirement extension. So you can always do it that way if you want, but it's going to be up to you. Like I said, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing this, but I just want you to be aware of all the hassles and all the headaches and all the red tape and the price points involved, if that's what you're thinking of. Alright, so be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, check out PayPal and Ko-Fi.com. Help support the channel. It's always appreciated. Other channels vlogging from this part of the world, they are listed down below. Be sure to check them out. And until next time, from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.